What's going on, everyone? This is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade, and welcome to another weekly review. Oh boy, what a week we had! Absolutely crazy, and we will go through some of the most insane runners that happened this year, even in the Nasdaq boards. And the first company will be DWAC. But before we'll talk about that company, make sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel right now before we begin. So DWAC is a Nasdaq company that ran over 1,200%. Now, I know that we talk a lot about the liquidity at the OTC on some of these companies, but the liquidity on the Nasdaq, the liquidity on DWAC is absolutely insane. This is a total next level, meaning that you could have bought millions of dollars worth of shares and held them for 1,000% and sell with no problem whatsoever. This is absolutely nuts. This run will be one of the most talked about runs for the next couple of months, in my opinion, because this is absolutely insane. And now let's understand what happened here, what caused this massive explosion in only 2 days. The stock gapped up on the pre-market almost 100%, absolutely nuts. Now let's see why. So the reason for the rise is so simple. Just like most of our explanations, it involves only 2 words: Donald Trump. So former President Donald Trump is a chairman at a company called Trump Media and Technology Group. And that company is merging with DWAC, which is a special proposed acquisition company, or SPAC, which is basically a pot of money raised from investors with the intention of finding a private company to buy. In this case, that was Trump's social media platform that merged into DWAC. Now, as you know or may not know, Trump was banned through all of the social media such as Twitter and Facebook, and that's why he decided to create his own social media platform, and he intends to compete with the big social media platforms such as Twitter, Facebook, Snapchat, and they all have a market cap of over $50 billion. Now DWAC current market cap is only around the $3 billion. So if he will succeed, by the market cap price only, the stock could run more than 100, 200, and 300% from the current price, and even more, but only time will tell if he nailed it or failed it. Next company we'll be talking about is the company GBHL, which ran 500% from our Discord alert. And the first thing that you see here, the difference, the insane difference on the volume. You can see very little volume on October 21st, and then on October 22nd, massive volume came in, almost 300 million volume. This is a 5-minute candle chart, meaning 300 million volume in 5 minutes, followed by hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of volumes every 5 minutes. Stock ran 500%. The liquidity here was pretty high due to the high volume. And the reason for this breakout is a speculation with a connection from GBHL to DWAC. And the following was actually posted on Reddit. With the news yesterday that Donald Trump is launching his own media and social media company through a SPAC merger with DWAC, the next shoe to drop will be the announcement of a merger with Global Entertainment Holding, GBHL. GBHL is a production and distribution company that has putting out pro-Trump propaganda for years. Trump will need a cause-friendly company with the infrastructure to scale his ventures, and GBHL was built for this and has been waiting. They already have an app developed to leverage for his social media platform and the talent and means to quickly churn whatever media Trump wants to put out there. So this is a pure speculation, absolutely pure, that there will be some sort of merger between DWAC and GBHL, because GBHL has already the platform and it is putting pro-Trump propaganda for years. Now, given the fact that DWAC already ran 500% on October 21st, they wanted to believe that this speculation is true, and the stock gapped almost 50 or more % on the pre-market, which is absolutely insane. and then continued its run for a full 500% from our Discord channel call. Now you can see that after the first 15 minutes, the stock started to go down and eventually closed at the 0064. Now, because this is a pure speculation, and as I always say, always do your own due diligence, this will most likely be not true. And that's why the price went back to 0064. And that's actually one of the beautiful things in the OTC. You can make money. You can make 500% run from a pure speculation. And if you're smart enough, if you are on our Discord community, you will know how to recognize it and how to earn profits from this speculation in only one day. The next company we'll talk about is the company CBTC. Now, we already reviewed this company 2 weeks ago and we talked about how this stock has a straight connection to the Bitcoin because this is a Bitcoin mining company. And from that weekly review, the stock ran 500% due to the Bitcoin explosion. The Bitcoin reached new highs, and as I told you before, when the Bitcoin is going nuts, go search CBTC and look where it's at, because as a clear sympathy to the Bitcoin, that stock most of the times will run as well. So we had a 500% from 2 weeks ago and 100% from the beginning of the week, where the Bitcoin started to show strength day after day. Next company we'll talk about is the company ICTY. Now, that stock was alerted multiple times on our Discord channel as well, so I urge you, if you're not in yet, go and sign in right now. The stock ran 114% the past 8 to 9 days with very high volume, very high liquidity here. And the reason for that is that on October 14th, the company issued a press release saying that ICTY announced today that it had been granted a temporary injunction by the Circuit Court of State of Florida in its pending lawsuit to invalidate 1.6 billion shares of its common stock held or controlled by defendants Salvador Russo, POP Holding Ltd, HE Capital, and Pearl Street Advisors LLC. The temporary injunction prevents the named defendants from transferring or selling any of the company's common stock pending a final determination of the company's claims that all of the shares issued to these defendants were fraudulently obtained. So what they're trying to do right now is to cancel 1.6 billion shares via a lawsuit, because they claim that these 1.6 billion shares were fraudulently obtained and they were temporarily granted, meaning that there will be no dilution as of this time, and that they might even cancel 1.6 billion shares. So due to that news, the stock ran 114% from the day that the news were released. And the story here at ICTY just begins. It is still a shell company seeking a reverse merger or an acquisition, and I am sure that we will hear from ICTY again in the near future. Now let's talk about the final stock of this weekly review, and that stock is DRNG, which we already reviewed multiple times. And from our previous weekly review 2 weeks ago, we explained that from the conference call of DRNG, Frank told us that they are looking for someone to take over that company. They are looking for a new CEO. And on Friday, October 22nd, they got it, and they released an 8K saying that on October 21st, Frank resigned as a member of board of directors of Drone Garter Incorporation. James Kennar has been appointed the president of the company effective October 21st. Mr. Kennar has also been elected as a member of the board of directors, chairman of the board, and chief executive officer of the company effective October 21st. So that document basically completes the merger. New CEO got into DRNG. Now let's do some due diligence about this new CEO and why this could be very big. As of this moment, all that we can find on James Kennar is that he is a vice president of a company called Windstar Motors Incorporation. Now I'm sure that there will be a lot of due diligence pouring in the following week, because this is an absolutely fresh story. This is the beginning of a new story of DRNG, new CEO, new company, with plans to uplist to the OTCQB, which is a requirement of 1 penny per share for over 1 month. And lastly, NHK tweeted a very good tweet saying that NHK is pleased to announce the takeover of DRNG by James Kennard Tag Team. Our CEO Frank resigned from DRNG after saving the co and stopping the toxic and delusions. James's team will move DRNG into a new era of accelerated growth similar to ALPP. Now, ALPP is a NASDAQ listing company traded at the $3 per share. Now, that does not mean that DRNG will go to the NASDAQ and will go to $3, but just comparing the two of them on the same tweet saying that they are aiming for accelerated growth similar to ALPP is very, very good, and it puts confidence in the shareholders' hands. And if we go to the 5-minute candles, you can see exactly on what time that 8K was released right here. Massive volume came in, tons of volume. We alerted that 8K and that the merger was completed the second that it came out, so you could have joined the ride with us to a 70% run in 1 day. And on Monday, put your eyes on DRNG. There is a very high possibility of a gap up, considering the fact that the news was released about 1.5 hours before the market closed on Friday. So not everyone saw that news. Not everyone heard about the fact that the new CEO got into DRNG and that the merger was completed. So I will be looking at DRNG right at the opening, and that was it about this weekly review. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification on so you don't miss the future videos. Once again, if you're not on our Discord community, make sure to go to the description and join right now so you don't miss these kind of calls, so you don't miss the best of the best at the second that it comes out. We alert everything. Once again, thank you for joining and have a green and profitable week.